Totes Recall.
Welcome to Totes Recall, the podcast where we talk about a movie we don't remember or can't remember or refuse to remember very well. We push pause on the recording, eat 2 pizzas, 2 salads. Thank you, patrons. Watch the movie, come back, unstop the recording. That means we are recording again. A second half of the show continues with more talking. It's a podcast. Strap in. Now we know more about the movie and we're talking about it. My name is Dan. Yeehaw!
Whoa. This is Molly.
Wow! It's also Dan.
And I'm Beth.
And our movie, this very special second annual Netvember episode, is Sneakers.
Oh, great choice.
Thank you.
I forgot all about
we all
it.
chose it together, and half of us remembered what it was tonight.
That's true.
A movie that I have seen, no big deal, multiple times, also no big deal.
Uh-huh.
Not in theaters, no idea when it came out, probably 93.
Oh, wow. Bold bet right out of the gate. I have also seen this movie, no big deal. I saw it in theaters. Does not guarantee I will have timing on it, although early 90s feels right. There's an answering machine in it. So that narrows it down a little bit. But I don't know if the internet is a thing. It's got to be right because they're sneaking.
They're sneaking.
Well, why do they need the internet to sneak?
They're hackers. It's November. They're a sneaky hacker.
There's got to be some
Are we
net
sure, or do we
tie-in.
just assume there's nets in it?
I mean,
It's got to be.
we chose it because we thought there was.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to go 95.
And we got a bit of a ticking clock. We got to take him
boy.
before his
Maybe
time.
97.
Star in this.
What?
Maybe 97.
Wow.
I don't know. River Phoenix is in it.
Yep, that's who I'm talking about.
Yeah. And I don't know when he passed.
He wasn't alive in 97?
No,
Wasn't he?
I don't know.
I wrote 95 already, Molly, so
Okay.
you can stop paying
I
on.
don't know what this movie is.
Wow.
I don't
I can agree with
remember. I don't remember if I've seen it,
Oh, wow.
but I'm going to boldly say 1991. Who is in this movie? River Phoenix.
Beth, do you want to place a bet before Dan shouts questions?
Yes. I'll say 90.
That should be like the starting opening question for every episode.
Beth and Dan, do I infer that you have not seen this? Neither of you have seen this movie?
Honestly, don't know.
I have no idea what this is.
Okay. Do you,
I mean, I know there's hackers involved.
Here's what's happening right now. I think my brain thinks this is a movie I'm thinking of is the sequel of, but I don't know if.
Wow.
Sequel?
So it probably means I'm thinking of a different movie.
I don't. I think this lives in a universe alone.
Okay.
Do you want to
Absolutely. I
take
do.
a crack at sponsorship pending by some union strong organization?
Yeah.
Totes pre-call, 60-second pre-summary, name also
Absolutely.
pending. We'll figure it out someday.
Yes.
Molly is making body language implying she's going to be the timer, and I will be the master of ceremonies.
Okay, great.
And Molly, when you are ready, you may tell them to go.
God.
Go.
We open on a computer. It's the early 90s. Someone's hacking away. It might be River Phoenix.
10 seconds.
There's something bad happening. They have to. I don't know. There's sneakers involved. Are they shoes or are they sneaking around?
Gene Hackman is in it.
Wow,
Hackerman.
because he said,
Because he is a sneakster. He says,
30 seconds.
"Oh, I'm from the government, and we need you, young computer man, to help us sneak."
And they sneak around. There's some bad guys. The bad guys come out of the computer, not through the computer, but
awesome.
like they are no longer on.
Like they were chatting on the computer, now they're
50
real.
seconds.
Like they're attacking them.
Oh, it turns out there's a Russian super spy from Russia, and they win. Not the Russians. America wins. USA number one.
America
Describe
wins.
that. They weren't in the computer, but
it was
they
like
were,
Tron?
No, that's what I know what you were saying.
like they're kind of
They make
battling it out.
contact
Yeah,
in
on
the computer, yes.
And then all of a sudden it's like real life things.
We have
like,
tracked him down
like
through
a
hacking.
car,
Yeah.
like swerves at them in the middle of the road.
Okay.
Hacker.
I cannot remember any. I know it's like an ensemble cast, right?
What movie am I thinking?
Oh,
of?
yeah. I got it. You ready?
Cloak and Dagger.
Yeah.
A certain double horse riding Southern gentleman is in this movie.
What?
Robert Redford.
Ribby Rodford?
River Rodford is the head sneaker.
Oh, awesome.
Okay.
Okay.
He heads up the sneak gang.
Yes.
And his sneak gang involves River Phoenix, as we said.
Yep.
Dan Aykroyd.
Wow.
Okay, now
Oh, these are
very
Totes Recall
confused.
stars.
Yeah.
I'm
Probably a woman.
so confused.
And then there is an antagonist who is also quite the star that maybe I'll save
Please
the movie
do.
to reveal because I feel like there's a big reveal of that.
Here's what's happening. In my head, I'm like, is Dan Aykroyd in this? But I'm still thinking of a different movie that has Emilio Estevez in it.
Oh, I don't think Emilio Estevez is in this. I think River
Is that the one
Phoenix
about
is a
Garbage
young
Men?
guy.
I don't know.
Well,
Is Dan Aykroyd in both movies?
I want to say like who's the guy in the Lethal Weapon movies who's not Mel Gibson?
Oh,
Danny
In
Glover?
Silverado. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Danny Glover's in this movie.
Okay.
I'm betting it. Danny
Okay,
Glover.
great.
Okay.
We'll bet.
Yeah.
I only remember one scene, and I remember it very well. But it's got kind of a reveal in it, so I'm not going to describe it.
Okay.
But I also know there's one character who's blind.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know who that's played by. But yeah, the main thing, I think the main reason I saw it was because of River Phoenix.
Because he was so
he's
dreamy?
So dreamy.
He's a hunk. Yeah.
Oh,
He's like the cool young guy. There's a lot of fast talking,
Okay.
good chemistry in this movie.
Great.
There's a scene where River Phoenix is like up in some duct work
Okay.
and he's on like a headset and they're like having
he's like
chemistry.
pre-Ocean's 11.
So
He's like
this
the
is
Matt
a heist
Damon.
movie?
All right.
Yes, they're
Oh.
like hackers for hire,
Okay.
sneak and hacking.
What are they heisting?
Don't know.
Okay.
Dan Aykroyd's maybe the driver. I think at one point he rams a van into something
Great.
and it's like chaotic.
But we felt so confident that people would remember this movie that we picked it for Netvember.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I do feel like this is kind of like a niche cult classic favorite, right?
I think so. I remember like watching this movie, loving it, and then feeling cool that I knew about and liked this movie.
It was poorly marketed. Not a lot of people saw it when it was in theaters, even though it's a good movie.
Yeah. I think the poster is like all the stars' heads getting gradually smaller.
Yeah.
Like in a big triangle shape.
Yeah.
And then like some hacky thing down in the corner.
Sure.
Like a computer. Or,
See, I'm losing my mind because that also sounds familiar. So that must be why my brain's like, oh, is Dan Aykroyd in this? Because I must have seen the poster at
Yeah.
some point and been like, hey, there's Dan Aykroyd's head in a series of shrinking heads.
yeah.
But I have no other memory of this movie.
Wow. Well, I hope that the cult that follows this movie is not just Dan and I.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. What if no one else knows about this movie?
Whoa, it's
Wow.
like the Mandela effect, except there's two people who are like,
What if
no,
it's
this
like-
definitely happened.
Yeah. It's like Shazam. Is that the one?
Shasneaker.
It's just sneaker.
Yep.
Shazam
Yeah,
is the one that
Shazam.
only Beth thinks exists.
Yeah.
Oh, got it.
No, that's the right.
Which one's the real one?
Kazam.
I
Shazam's the Shaq
am
one, right?
Kazam. Yeah, that's the Shaq
Yeah, yeah. So Shazam,
It's the
starring
Sinbad one.
Sinbad.
Yeah.
It exists.
one. Okay.
Here's the thing about that.
Uh-huh.
I feel like I've talked about this on the podcast before.
We have.
Is that I remember that movie, and I was listening to a podcast where they were talking about Kazam, the one that is real.
Yes.
Yeah.
And as they were describing it, I was like, Shaq's not in that. It's Sinbad. And then I looked it up, and other people remember that movie being called Shazam with Sinbad in it.
Well,
So it wasn't like a thing where I like saw Sinbad and I was like, yeah, I remember that movie. It was like I confirmed it with
The internet.
the internet.
yes.
So that's what makes it weird.
Yes, it is
Yeah.
weird.
Otherwise, it wouldn't be so weird.
Well, it's just like the Bernstein Bear thing.
Yeah.
And I don't even remember what's up with that, but I remember there's something to it.
It's just
It's
different
spelled
spelling.
Stain or Steen.
Oh, Bernstein beers.
Yeah.
That one feels like a pretty weak Mandela effect one. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, you
read it
remembered
wrong, or like-
the
Who
spelling?
cares?
Yeah, you remembered it with standard spelling.
Oh,
Yeah.
And
or
it's
like
spelled differently.
The most popular place to get cheese curds at the Minnesota State Fair is the Mousetrap which has a adorable little icon of a little mouse.
Mm-hmm.
It is in fact called the mouth trap.
Ew.
Which is so gross that no wonder we all overwrite it in our brains.
Does it still have a mousetrap
It says
picture?
little mouse.
It's called Mouthtrap, and it's got a picture of a mouse.
I know. It's
Get
about
outta here.
cheese,
It
and mice
traps
love
your
cheese.
mouth with cheese.
Or is your mouth the trap for the cheese?
Your mouth is the trap for the cheese.
Yeah.
That's right. You're right. That makes more sense.
But then, really, the mouse shouldn't get involved.
The point is,
Anyone wants to think about their mouth being
well,
a
this
trap.
is the same thing as like a pig
no
chef
one
running
wants
a
to
barbecue.
think about your
Oh, yeah.
mouth
It's all chaos.
Yeah.
and mice. I don't want to think about a mouse.
Oh, then it feels like I'm trapping a mouse in my mouth.
That's
You're
right. That's what I'm saying.
Ew.
Yeah, very popular, excellent cheese
But no,
curds.
you would put the cheese
Is there a representative?
in your mouth.
and then the mouse would come. Like,
Yeah, you trap them both.
yeah.
Dan, Lyndon, are you okay?
Oh, like that song.
What?
The
I'm
lady-
going hungry.
No, the lady that swallows a fly and then she
yeah.
swallows a
Oh, yeah.
frog to get the whatever, and then she swallows a something
cheese
to get
curd.
the blah.
It's about the environment.
And then she swallows whatever, and then blah, blah, blah. And the Muppets did a great version of it. Okay, moving on. Check it out. Muppets.com? I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
The movie Sneakers is a movie in which sneakers are sneaking. They are trying to heist something that is valuable.
Yeah.
Are they heisting from the government? Are they heisting for the government?
I think they end up heisting from like a tech maniac.
Aha. Tech maniac.
I wonder how
Yeah.
much this is going to feel like Ocean's 11.
Somewhat.
I think it is. I feel like it's going to feel like Molly's bet. I'm going to be watching for Ocean's 11.
Like they're going
Wow.
to be like super cool and self-satisfied with themselves?
Yeah.
Well, not,
But I mean,
no one's that self-satisfied.
Wow.
is Robbie Robert in the Ocean's movie too?
Which
No.
one?
No.
No.
Robbie Rob?
Ribby Rod.
Robbie Robert. No.
Oh,
okay.
Robert Redford. No,
No.
it's
Okay.
Brad Pitt.
Yeah. And George Clooney's.
Yes.
Brad
And
Pitt's
lots
the
of
one
other people.
you assume he'd associate with Robert Redford?
I don't know.
I
It's
think
like
so.
Robert
He's the
Redford's
closest.
got like
He's
like,
way closer in
he's
age
got
to...
Clooney classiness
Sure.
with Brad Pitt blonde hair.
Wow.
He's the blonde Clooney.
So you're saying George
Yeah,
Clooney and
Clooney's,
Brad Pitt
Brad
smushed
Robert.
together is
Yeah.
Ribby Rodford.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just like if you
Yeah.
took Cary Grant
Uh-huh.
and Humphrey Bogart
I'm listening.
Okay.
and you put them together,
Uh-huh.
you would also get Robert Redford.
Oh, I don't
Oh.
know. Well, I don't know if
You
I buy
could
that.
put Ginger Rogers and
Uh-huh.
Fred Astaire together.
Yeah.
You still
Yeah, Robert Redford.
get Robert Redford.
Oh. So you're saying Robert Redford is the gestalt of every famous pair.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Yep.
Amazing. The ultimate actor.
That's why he's so good.
He's so good.
And that's why he needs 2 horses.
oh,
right.
sure. It's his brain. It's like in Pacific Rim where they need 2 people to complete
Yeah.
the
Oh,
neural link.
Pacific Rim was so long. But here's the thing, though. My trouble is I just tune out when things start fighting. So that wasn't a good choice for me, even though I respect it and I respect people who like that movie.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah, sure you do.
Sneakers.
Who do we think? Two-part question.
Okay.
Do we think I'm right that there's a woman on the team? And 3-part question. Who is that woman? And does she talk to another woman?
Okay.
Oh.
I believe there is another woman involved somehow. I don't remember if she's on the team or if she somehow just gets roped into this
Yeah.
business.
You just answered a Robert Redford equivalent of the questions he asked.
Yeah.
I just merged them together.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to say Sigourney Weaver, but I think I'm
Oh, that would've
No,
dreamcasting.
ruled.
you're
at
dream
this point.
casting. You got to be.
Yeah.
It's too good.
That's too
Is
good.
it?
They didn't have
It's
the
got
budget
Robert
for that many
Redford in
people
it.
If it's like Ocean's 11, there are no other women on the team.
That's right. There's just maybe some love interest that gets to walk across the room in a
Like-
dress.
Julia Roberts shows up.
Mm-hmm.
And she definitely doesn't talk to another woman. I'm going to say no on the Bechdel-Wallace
I
test.
think it won't pass, but I would be so happy to be proven wrong.
I'm going to say there is a woman on the heist team and there's a woman who works with a tech maniac and they fight because that's how the rules,
Oh.
that's the rules of movies.
I
Yeah.
don't think there's a lot of fisticuffs, but I like.
Well, but they
I like
they
the
have maybe
story.
a battle of wits.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
bad.
I
Oh,
feel like
like
it's
a
more of a
hack-off.
thriller heist.
Yeah.
I
yeah,
don't know. Is
that's
this
really nice.
is this like a comedic heist?
I think there's some comedy and just everybody's so charming, but
Sure.
I think it's mostly a thrilling heist.
Yeah,
How many people are on this heist team, do you think?
5 or
Five.
6. 5.
Small team.
No,
Robert
11.
Redford, Dan Aykroyd,
Yeah.
River Phoenix,
Yeah. A woman.
Donald, Dan,
Danny
Billy-
Glover?
Danny Glover.
Great.
Donald Glover's really messed with my Glover game. Crispin Glover. What if he was in this?
That would be cool. But who is the
woman.
actor who plays the blind guy?
Oh, blind guy. That's 6.
Yeah.
That's your answer?
Yeah.
Your answer to who's the actor who plays the blind guy is blind guy.
Oh, I don't know.
He's not a blind guy, probably.
He's older.
Harry Dean Stanton.
And is it ableist to say blind guy?
I don't know.
Probably. Visually impaired. I don't know.
I don't
We're
know.
dummies.
Yeah,
We're
we are dummies.
Feel free to tweet at us and say,
Hey, dummies.
hashtag
Stop
dummy.
it.
Here's the most
Preferred.
preferred term
Right
now.
Yep.
That's the hashtag.
Yep.
I will be interested to see who that actor is.
I'll be interested to
Yeah.
see who all the actors are and what this movie is about.
It
Yeah,
sounds
that's fair.
compelling.
It does. It sounds like it could be a fun romp.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember more scenes since I'm the only one who remembers more than one scene.
And also, we apparently thought this was appropriate for Netvember. So, like, there's got to be something in there that's, you know,
Yeah,
computers.
they're doing like, since it's like, there's not a lot of network devices, so I feel like they have to break in and like hook computers
like
up,
hardwired to the
hardwire stuff in.
mainframe or
That's
something.
why River Phoenix is like the face of the team.
Okay.
He's got to get in there doing the wet work
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the duct work,
Yes,
All right.
if you know what I mean.
sort of.
Is there going to be some sort of like computer interface where there's like a laughing, like,
Ooh, yeah.
you failed to get in, ha 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 ha, kind of
Yeah.
thing?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes.
As, based on the
You sound
twist, I
very
remember,
confident.
I think there's going to be a gotcha computer screen.
Awesome.
Yes.
I'll write that one down.
Are the screens green? Like black and green?
Yeah.
That's standard, right?
Like
Because there's some black
Unix.
and white.
I'm going to bet blue and white to be spicy.
Wow. That's, yeah,
That's very spicy.
Thank you.
super spicy.
I'm wondering if, I don't know, I'll be interested to see if they have like the close up of someone sweating while they type furiously.
Oh, God, I hope so.
Like they did on Swordfish. That was terrible. I don't know. I don't remember being annoyed by this movie. So I'm
This
going to
is-
assume no.
I'm going to say this is most likely the most frequent name dropping of other movies you didn't particularly care for in the first half of one of our episodes.
That's really fair. If there's a Freaky Friday element to this, I'm going to be so mad.
I mean, that would be amazing because that would make it a very different kind of movie.
Molly, I saw some Freaky Friday news
What?
recently. Jamie Lee Curtis said she would do a sequel.
No.
What about Lalahan?
I don't know.
Would she have to be
Lois.
like the
See.
grandma in it?
Oh,
Would they
Lord.
cast her that way?
I don't know.
I bet
know.
they would. They put a baby in there for sure.
Like she switches with the baby?
Oh,
Grandma
I
baby
don't
swap?
know.
Oh my
Grandma baby?
If you could just hear the internal monologue of the grandma inside of a baby's body.
Yes.
That is like horrifying.
This is like, look who's talking to meets
Yeah.
Freaky Friday.
Yes.
Yeah.
But then the baby's in the grandma?
Oh, it'd be a nightmare.
She's going to break all her hips. Babies can't walk?
No. But also, like, do you think it'd be
Maybe
like...
it's a three-way shift.
Okay.
So
Now we're
the
talking.
grandma's in the
my
baby.
okay, grandma's
the
and baby.
baby's in the mom, and the mom is in the grandma.
Still, you put a
But the
baby
baby's-
mind in an adult body any age, like we're in trouble.
Maybe the way it works is
Maybe
like
it's not
the
a tiny
speech
baby.
center's still
Okay.
like the speech center's there, it's functioning, so it just like translates baby mind into speech.
Okay, it's like a toddler.
So it's like
Toddler. Yeah, at least
3.
a toddler.
Okay.
3-year-old maybe. Yeah.
Right.
Walking
Okay.
around. You
Listen,
can-
I don't know why we're giving this away for free. Hollywood,
yeah,
if you want a really great script,
yeah, or at
You
least
know.
a
Like a
script that
framework.
might make you money.
like a sketch,
yeah,
we can do it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
We're halfway there.
yes. Fucking, I'll write it here. Jamie Lee Curtis throws a carrot. Boom, done.
Yes,
Scene.
that's the scene.
Done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Baby's like,
Baby orders something online with a credit card. Boom,
Oh.
done.
Yeah.
boom, done.
Yep.
And mom's pulling out her hair. She's stressed out.
Boom, done.
Not
Done.
stressed anymore. Gets promoted at work for
'Cause she's-
coming in cool.
Yeah.
Because she's the grandma or
Simplifying
the
ideas.
child? I
There's,
can't
She's a
remember.
child.
There's a TikTok.
She works at a toy company. It's
Of
a little
course.
bit of big. And she invents like all the best toys.
Wait, I've lost track of where
That's
baby
big.
is.
Baby is in
Baby's
the
in mom.
executive mom.
Toddlers and mom.
Yep.
Grandma's and baby.
Yep. No.
No.
Yeah, grandma's and baby.
Grandma's and
Yep.
baby.
Just go one direction.
Mom is in grandma?
Yeah,
Yep.
let's simplify
Okay,
it. It goes
so-
up.
Just goes
Everybody
up.
goes up and then loops back
And then
down.
aces are high on
So
the
mom gains a new understanding for her own mother, right?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
experiencing the ageism that she lives
Yeah.
with every day.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Grandma I don't know,
Knows
remembers
what
Grandma.
it's to feel young again.
right,
Gets
and
a
remembers
break.
that it's horrible and full of shit.
Yeah.
And that she needs to appreciate the life she's led.
Yeah.
Yeah, and baby
And that
chaos.
the
energy.
way that
Yes.
she was raising her kids is not how you should raise kids now. You should do
Yes.
some
Yeah.
conscious parenting.
Baby
Yeah.
is like either third or fourth Michael Keaton clone in Multiplicity.
Right.
Yeah.
What's our event? Because we're not doing fortune cookie giant gong.
Right.
No.
CERN.
Great.
What?
They
Yes.
go to CERN.
Yeah, they're touring.
They get hit by a quark. And
Yeah.
yeah.
And
Awesome.
yeah, the guy's there who's came back in time. You remember that guy who said he was time traveling, trying to shut it down?
No, but yes.
Yeah.
In real
I'm sure
life?
that happened.
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh,
in
he got
real
arrested
life.
because he was like, I'm time
Because I'm
traveling.
a time traveler, I got to shut down this proton jammer.
Did he
or whatever
actually
it's
try to
called.
like blow it up?
What if it was real?
Right?
What if?
Think about it.
What if?
Well, then you would think they would just send somebody else, right?
Yeah.
Or they would do a better job of it.
Maybe they only had enough time.
Ooh, maybe it's
windows
like 12
changing.
Monkeys, where it's a real pain in the ass to do it.
Yeah. I watched 12 Monkeys.
Me too.
Does that take
Well,
place
I
on
guess
the
if
net?
it were easy,
Not
it would
really.
happen all the time. Not really. So this movie,
Yeah.
Sneakers,
Sneakers.
I wonder how we should rate it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I
let me-
also wonder that, Molly.
we're going to rate it.
Can I make a last bet?
Yeah.
That there's going to be a close up of someone walking in sneakers.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, do they have matching sneakers?
No.
Like, is it a play on words at all? And
They're sneakers.
they just sneak around.
Late
Someone's
bet.
got sneakers.
Late bet. Robert Redford has a love interest that's far too young for him.
That's
Oh.
Great.
Fair. Our rating scale is gotcha sneakers.
Ooh.
good.
Gotcha.
Gotcha sneakers.
Sneakers.
Okay, is this a brand of sneakers?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, okay, great. And these prank sneakers like that you would give to someone and then they got you?
Well, it has like secret compartments.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
Oh, wow.
So
Like those Rue.
What?
Wasn't that? Remember, there's this. Or maybe they still exist. They probably do. It's a sneaker brand, and there's a little zipper on the side.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
I remember that.
Got a
Yeah.
kangaroo.
It's got
I don't
that,
know.
but it also has like a pretty thick sole.
Uh-huh.
And you could store like can of nuts, like pop out of your shoe
Can of
kind of
nuts?
thing.
Wow, that's a thick soul.
Yeah.
A whole can of nuts in your shoe?
Well, a
No,
can
like
of
the-
fake
the
nuts.
spray-
Yeah,
okay.
with
You
like
gotta,
the
like-
snakes.
Okay, you got to click your heels or something. They shoot out of the toes?
Well, somebody like pushes you to the ground. You just hold up your shoe.
Oh, they come out of
so
the
this is
bottom.
a defensive weapon.
Well, you can be aggressive with it too, but probably come up more in defense. Like if
Or
we're
you
just
could
being
use it when you play
logical.
basketball.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so like
Get extra
as
air.
you dunk,
You spray.
you spray. Yeah, it's like an extra boing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it gets in your
And then you
opponent's
go,
faces.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Ooh, or you could do like
Sneakers.
it also. Okay, so what I'm hearing is these shoes are basically fuck, what is that old video game where you are a racer car
NBA Jam? No.
has a bunch of shit in it.
Hmm.
It doesn't matter.
F-Zero?
No, it doesn't matter.
Oh.
Maybe F-Zero. It doesn't matter. Tweet at us, nerds. Like you could get like oil slicks that
Oh,
shoot out of the back.
Spy Chaser or
Something
something
like
like
that.
that. Spy
Yeah.
Hunter.
Yeah.
I think Spy Hunter. That
So
game
like
rules.
oil slicks can shoot out your shoes.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Gotcha sneakers.
Ooh, or like little net cannons to like shoot at other people's feet.
Yeah.
November cannon.
This is like a James Bond Q shoe.
Yeah, the shoe rules.
Mm-hmm.
Kyushu.
Q shoe.
Q shoe. But what are we actually calling it?
Gotcha
Gotcha
sneakers.
sneakers.
Gotcha sneaks.
I mean, Q shoe could be. Why is it called Q shoe? I've already lost the thread of this.
I don't know.
James
I just
Bond.
said it. I just repeated what somebody else said.
Because the
James
guy's
Bond
name is
Q shoe.
Q,
Mm-hmm.
and he
Which
makes a
guy?
shoe.
James Bond Kyushu.
Q shoe. That is one of that
Q
is
shoe's
like their
also a
designer
Like a
brand.
tie-in.
It's like their Air Jordan.
Oh.
It's
Oh.
the Q shoe.
Okay,
Yeah.
so they have like licensing rights from
And in
the.
fact, that's I was going to get to this. I'm really glad it came up
Great.
naturally. Our rating scale is Gotcha Sneakers Q Shoe Edition.
Oh, Q shoe.
Oh.
These are only Q shoes.
So
Yeah,
you can only
and
buy
it's
them in Japan.
A pair.
I'm
Yeah.
less interested.
Q shoe.
What?
It's a place in Japan as well.
Q shoes and Q shoe.
It's a homophone.
Q shoe.
Yeah.
Is it actually pronounced Q shoe?
Yeah.
Okay.
The movie we watched was Sneakers.
Yeah.
And that's the rating scale. Dan, you go first, as we all know.
I go first because I'm great and people want to hear what I think first. I, as we've established, do not remember that this movie is, and it may be thinking of a completely different movie. But it sounds like it could be real fun. I am excited for the inevitable Ribby Rodford segment in the second half. So I'm going to give this an optimistic 4 pairs of Gotcha Sneakers Q Shoes edition.
Thank you. Q Shoe.
Q Shoe?
Q Shoe Edition.
What did I say?
Q Shoes Edition.
I'm very confused.
Listen, they're just
about
very
this.
particular.
Q-fuse.
You're
Very
confused.
Very good. From Beth, who is next, we all know.
Yep, I go next because I'm better than Dan.
Wow.
So I got to show him up a little bit. I'm going to go with 4 as well. I know nothing about this movie except for all the things that we just talked about, which is like maybe like, I don't know, 10% of the first half of the podcast. But it sounds good. It sounds like it's got a good cast. And you two seem very excited about it when we came up with the idea to watch it. Mm-hmm. What?
Q2, is that something?
What is?
Q shoes, U2, Q2.
What?
Never mind.
You sound like a malfunctioning computer.
I'm quitting the podcast.
So 4. 4 is my...
Awesome. I am third, as we all know. I'm going to give it a 5. I'm feeling like shockingly optimistic. I remember
Shockingly
Shockingly. This is a movie I remember like as a teen. This is like, do you all have these movies where like you're a teen and you see a movie and you think you're cool because you know about a movie?
Yes.
Yeah.
And really it's just like, it's just an old movie.
Yeah.
Like, this is that for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, 5. I think it's going to be fun, a romp, exciting, great performances, charm, hopefully very little misogyny, but maybe that'll only because there's no women in it at all. 5.
Wow.
Wow, bold.
I'm a real sneakerhead. Q sneakerhead. Q
No.
shoes.
Please.
Okay, so
Please
I'm
stop.
not quite as bullish as Dan. I remember liking this movie, and I'd put it sort of in the same category as Heathers, a movie I saw the first weekend it came out, and I was like, how's everybody not... Category. How's everyone not talking about
Q
this?
shootogore.
Oh, my gosh.
The podcast is falling off the rails, and we're not even in the second half.
It's 8 p.m.
But I'm not feeling quite as bullish. I'm feeling a little bit nervous because I remember only one scene. And it has probably been 20 years since I've seen this movie plus. So I'm going to give it 4 Gotcha Sneakers Q Shoe edition. And then like 1 extra sneak. And it's like...
That's 5.
What's a sneak?
Oh,
Well,
4.5? Because each point is a pair?
Each
Oh,
point
I
is a
see.
pair.
I see.
Oh.
So this is one is like dipped in gold, like as a memento
Like
or
a
something.
collector's-
Like a collector's
Sure,
item.
sure. Like for
Okay.
rappers to
Yeah.
I
get.
see.
Is that's 4.5 though, right?
So 4.5.
Yeah.
All right.
And with that, we're going to press pause, go watch Sneakers, and we'll be right back.
You have 1 unheard message. First unheard message.
Hey y'all, this is Jess in Maplewood, and I was listening to your most recent Pretty Woman episode, and my partner chimed in when hearing about the new live show coming up, which I am so excited to attend, that you should do Jingle All the Way. Holy buckets, I went through your backlog. It is not there. This is perfect, especially for your post-COVID debut. So hope to see you there. Thanks.
Thank you, Jess, for that incredible voicemail and excellent idea.
Great idea.
Great idea.
Which was also brought up in via some online forums. And yes, we are going to be watching Jingle All the Way.
Wow, big reveal.
It happened.
Pew, pew, pew,
Pew,
pew.
pew, pew, pew.
All your
Local.
dreams have come true.
Radford says we're jingling all the way to the Trilon Cinema.
On Thursday, December 8th in Minneapolis, Minnesota, a major airline hub if you're considering visiting.
That's true. Probably
in
a direct
December.
flight.
There might be a direct flight from Australia even, if they're still listening.
No, I'm sure. And
mean-
who wouldn't want to leave summertime in Australia to come to Minnesota in December? Although I will say it probably won't be that cold, although it could be a snowstorm. Really hard to say. But what's not hard to say is we are going to have a blast at this live show. We've been building off the first couple that we've done. We have a lot of exciting surprises in store. It's also our first holiday version of a show,
Yes.
Wow.
which has given us license to be extra ridiculous.
Jingle, jingle, jingle.
Jingle, jingle, jingle.
All the way.
For more information and to get tickets, go to live.totesrecall.com. Just one.com, Dan.
.com.
And we really do hope to see you there. We're going to have a blast, and we're looking forward to Jingle All the Way. Thanks, Jess, for the great suggestion.
Speaking of Jesses, we got one more Jess to talk about. It's Jessie Lee, who is the new patron.
I'm listening.
Who patroned hard enough for us to say their name on Audio Lights. Once again, Jessie Lee.
Jessie
Lee.
Jessie Lee. Oh, we're talking about Jessie Lee.
You're so cool.
I did not prep this beforehand. I apologize.
I wish that I was Jessie Lee.
Oh, nice.
I wish that I was Jessie Lee.
I know. It's just, I don't. Probably Jessie Lee is so tired of that song.
Oh.
Right? Like, if anybody comes up to me and sings Good Golly Miss Molly, I'm not as happy to hear it as you might think. Because I have a lifetime of that, right?
Okay.
I just want to respect our patron.
Got it. I'm trying to think of another song.
Jessie Lee, draw pictures. No, you don't want that song.
I thought of that song too.
Yeah.
Jessie Lee spoken.
It's like any Pearl Jam song.
Yeah.
Which one it is?
If you would like to have your name read in lights, go to patreon.com/totesrecall, and for as little as $1 a month, you get some exclusive
But
content.
not this for $1 a month.
What?
You don't get your name shouted for $1 a month.
Well,
True.
sure, but go check out all of the interesting and some sort of unattainable and ridiculous tiers that we have.
Tiers still available.
Still 5 available.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. So, you know.
I'm going Jessie Lee.
And now back to our podcast. And we're back. We just watched 2 hours and 6 minutes of sneaking and romping and some aggressive jazz, and it was fun.
Hell yeah. Kick ass.
We did aggressive jazz courtesy of Branford Marsalis, legendary saxophone player.
Loved that score.
Shout out to the smooth, sexy, tense jazz.
Throughout.
Crushed it throughout.
Yeah.
But before we get too deep into the jazz,
Thank you.
that is the movie Sneakers, there is a segment in the world, a worldwide segment.
Oh.
Intergalactically known and rewarded.
Wow.
For its excellence.
We've gotten space statues?
Space statues have been rained down. You look up, you think, is that the Dracnoid's meteor shower? Nope.
Dracnoids?
Yep.
Yeah, look it up.
All right.
Nope. That's the award that we received from aliens.
Did you just mumble Hubble?
No.
Like the space telescope?
I mean,
He clearly said it was the Hubble Award.
Which we've all heard of.
Yeah, it's Intergalactic Podcast Segment Award.
Yeah.
Yeah.
60-second summary, of course, is the segment.
Of course.
Molly just pulled on
Molly
her
is
clock
aggressively suggesting that she will be the timekeeper.
Well, I guess Molly's not going to do it then.
Yeah. As is tradition, I will volunteer to go first
Of course.
and only.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. You still have to start with we open on.
Rough stuff. Okay. Yep.
You ready?
Yeah.
And go.
We open on the past. It's 1969. Nice. And there's two friends and they're hacking. They're having fun hacking friends. But one goes for
10
pizza
seconds.
and yeah, I agree. One goes for pizza, the other gets arrested. Flash forward with a pretty good Scrabble screen dissolve. And now it's modern day, 92, baby. And we meet our hacking sneaking crew, Robert, Sidney Poitier, the other people. And
30 seconds.
You think they're criminals, but turns out they're testing things. Now the NSA comes to them, is like, get the math box. It can decode everything. And they go, okay. And then they get it, but turns out they got sneaked. And it's really the old friend from the
10
past.
seconds.
And so they got to get it back, and then they get it back, and there's a lot of double crossing. In the end, the NSA wins, and that's good.
Do they win, though?
Time.
Or did they get sneaked?
Oh, yeah. Oh, they did get sneaked.
Yeah.
Damn it.
They got sneaked.
Everybody got snuck at
A
some
lot
point.
of quadruple crosses, but
A lot of
Yeah.
sneaks.
Yeah.
I think that was a very award-winning, comprehensive
Thank you.
summary.
Yeah.
The statues will be raining down. Put on your helmets.
Put
Keep
your-
your children indoors.
put on your tinfoil hats,
That's right.
or else they'll get in your brains.
That's right. They
Yeah.
can't reward you if you have your tinfoil hat on.
I think, there are just a couple of details
Okay.
that maybe you left out. There was an old love interest.
Sure.
There was a whole Soviet angle.
Oh, hell yeah.
There was some FBI, not sure, and just a lot of double crossing.
Yep.
We also learned that sneaks refers to, because you open on like they're doing they're like stealing a bunch of money from a bank.
Yeah.
And then you find out they were hired by the bank to do the sneak
Yes.
to reveal flaws in their own security.
Yep.
But it's not a very well paying job, which
Yeah.
surprised me.
Yeah, you'd think it would be. Like
Yeah.
they.
It could be dangerous.
It's a
What if
team
that
of people.
Yeah, and what if that like cop was like, "Hey, you stole that money."
Bang, bang.
I guess maybe
Yeah.
it's just that their overhead costs are so high, right? Because they have all that equipment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the like lady cutting the check at the bank says it's not very well
That's
paid.
right.
So that's like gross pay right there.
Yeah.
It's not raising any eyebrows.
Oh, but she works at a bank. She's used to hire rollers.
That's true.
It's true.
That's true.
But I guess they are setting us up that they will accept money
Right.
when two mysterious government men come knocking, and one of them looks just like that guy from 30 something.
Sure.
Because he is that guy from 30
Oh.
something.
Oh, I thought he kind of looked like the guy Dickless from the Ghostbusters, who works for the EPA.
Oh, yeah.
He's got that guy energy.
Sure.
Oh, yeah. No, this was the other guy. This is the guy
But
who's
not
the
as good.
bad husband on 30 something.
Is 30 something a TV show?
It is.
I've never heard of it.
So
Oh.
wait, Mustache was 30 something or Buddy Wallace was 30 something?
A mustache.
Okay.
Which is awkward because he just should play a goofy character.
Oh, is
To
it
me, he
goofball?
did not seem very menacing.
Well, he's the good cop.
Yeah.
What? In
I
this
mean,
one, he is?
Well,
Yeah.
that's his relationship in there.
oh, and they're
their whole
dynamic.
thing, yeah.
I
Yeah.
get you.
Buddy's the like psychopath.
Yeah.
Yeah, Buddy's mean.
Keeps cracking.
Keeps pistol whipping Robert Ruby Rodford.
Rodford.
Excuse me?
You got it.
All right.
As I said, it came out in 92. None of us guessed that.
Oh.
Nope.
We were pretty scattershot, uncharacteristically scattershot in our
And
year guessing.
Even if we knew our River Phoenix history, we would not have guessed as we did guess. Because he passed away in 1993, when he was
Oh.
23
Wow.
years old.
Was this
So
his last
young.
one?
That's
Nope.
really sad.
Nope. This was like, there were a couple more after this.
Wow. Rising star.
Yep.
I have much more River Phoenix history to share with you later
Great.
and some interesting tie-ins to our show.
Teaser
Oh,
alert.
Teaser.
Teaser alert.
Better
So,
keep
yeah.
listening, listeners.
I'll sneak in
Oh,
some trivia.
That is of course, as everyone knows, the catchy, iconic credits theme by Branford Marsalis,
Honestly, it
presumably.
might be.
Can't get it out of your head.
And it's
No,
great.
It's catchy.
The score of this movie rocked, in this Dan's opinion. Every time there was a transition to a different jazz number while something was happening, I was like, this rules. They just keep changing up the jazz, and it works every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should talk about how stacked the cast is for
Yep.
this movie that
Let's
no
talk
one's
about it.
apparently seen. Robert Rodford, obviously.
He got statues, maybe. Does he have statues?
He
For
probably got
this?
statues.
No, just in general.
Oh, in general, he must, right?
Oh.
Well, I
He's
wasn't
surely been
told to look
nominated.
that up.
He's got statues.
Ribby Rodford's in it.
Sidney Poitier.
Sidney Poitier,
He got statues.
Wow.
Sorry, everyone, that I got that wrong.
Absolute legend.
Dan-
of film and
Oh,
stage, maybe.
Absolute legend. He crushes so hard.
He's so cool.
He like,
He's so cool and a badass.
yes.
and every line, every line is so good.
Yes.
And he lends so much credibility to the entire production, only to be wasted by Dan Aykroyd, but we can talk about that later.
Dan Akroyd, I
He is-
thought very, very good in his role as
He was very good, but I don't know
basically a
who was
Ghostbuster.
directing him during that. There's a scene where there's a phone call that they're going to route through 15 different places and 2 different satellites. They have a limited amount of time.
Oh.
And Dan Aykroyd has set up a polygraph sort of simulator based on voice, not as good as a real polygraph. And so as they're asking questions and on this call trying to get, I guess, amnesty or some sort of deal with the NSA, this guy is like, every time they're like, you have a close-up of the polygraph, there's a up-close like shot of Dan Aykroyd over his shoulder, and he does like this Scooby-Doo, true, like 3 times in a row.
Yeah.
And they just have to cut back to Sidney Poitier like drinking coffee calmly for you to be like, okay, it's not a Scooby-Doo episode.
Yeah. I mean, that felt more like chomp chomp cigar. Nobody's going to know what those scribbles mean, right? Like,
Get Aykroyd in there screaming, true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
get him nodding emphatically when it's true. And then, just in case it's not clear, get River to also come in and also say true at one
And they
point.
say true at the same time.
Yes.
Yeah, that guy's a conspiracy theorist, right? Oh, P.S. Dan Aykroyd plays a conspiracy theorist that no one believes. That's refreshing. Now he'd have his own YouTube network. He probably does.
He has,
Not Dan Aykroyd, the actor, the character.
Yes, Mother.
Sure.
That's his like running gag, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, the gag is specifically Sidney Poitier's character refuses to engage him in these conversations because he assumes that Sidney Poitier's character has all the goods because he was former CIA.
Oh, yes.
Yep. We got River Phoenix,
Yes.
Obs, Charms.
Charms, a sweet young boy who knows how to put on a costume.
Yeah. Just looking for love in all the wrong
Yep.
places.
Yes. We've got David Straithairn, who rules.
He is-
As always, he's the best.
He's great.
I love him.
He is our visually impaired
Whistler.
character.
Yes.
Whistler, probably as in Whistler's mother, right?
Oh.
Oh.
Isn't Whistler's mother the one with the big horn up to the ear?
I thought she
Can't
just
hear?
sat in a chair.
Oh,
Is there a horn in that?
I thought there was an ear horn.
Art heads, tweet at us. Whistler mother horn. Whistler mother.
Horny.
No.
Whistler's mother
Whistler mother horny. Whistler's mother horny. Yeah.
I can just
Dear.
look it up.
Bad.
I'm going to
Search-
just
wow.
look at the web.
Unprecedented mid-show research is Whistler's mother horny.
Yep.
Yep.
Google
That's what
it.
I'm typing in right now.
This is literally just Beth thinking in the moment. I don't want to get that hashtag.
This is what it looks like.
Oh wow.
No horn to
No
be
horn.
found. Just chair.
She looks,
In fact, she doesn't look horny in any way.
and even that would be about hearing.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, but he is about. It's kind of like he has superpowers. He has super hearing,
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
that-
rules.
which is like a little bit.
That whole character, I was like,
Well, I also thought he was like the smartest character, but no, he's just somebody who doesn't rely on his eyes
very
in the way that
capable.
they do.
He's
Yeah.
very capable. Of
But
course.
he also can be like, those are the batteries draining out of whatever it was. Like he knew it was a.
He's that good.
I guess
That's
so.
his business. He trained himself.
Yeah.
Like if I bought into that because if Dan Aykroyd is like, I bought you a replica of the answer machine so you can practice walking across a room with it. I could buy that him and Whistler just went around getting a bunch of electronics and sitting them next to him and be like, all right, what does that sound like?
Yeah.
And he just clocked it.
Sure.
Right?
Well, at one point he does go to his like road sound making machine.
Oh, so cool.
Like what was that?
I don't know, just like
An
a
audio
like a
generator.
synthesizer that he's just like, I know tones.
Yeah.
He knows tones.
He just
You
was
can
like,
loop
what
it.
does the road sound like? And they figured out where to go based on Robert Redford's Robert
Yeah, thank you.
Recollection.
Yeah, exactly. Of being in a trunk and what he heard.
Yes.
Yeah. And it leads them to the greatest discovery, which I'll save. Go ahead, Dan.
I really like that scene. I remembered it
too.
as we were watching. I was like, this is cool sneaking. They're like recreating audio and mapping it onto a map. Actually mapping it.
Yes, literally mapping it.
Yeah, I was charmed as a kid, charmed as an adult.
I enjoyed how much of this movie was like I enjoyed how much of the tense scenes in these movies were just them huddled around a piece of machinery while one of them hit buttons.
Yeah,
very true.
We talked about in the first half, is this going to be Ocean's 11 from the past? Molly was going to take note. So I'll save her segment of her notes that she took on that.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about how I appreciate the style of sneaking in this much more. Like it feels some of it feels like unrealistic,
Sure.
but it's not as like flashy and wild as an Ocean's movie. Like it feels like they're really getting in, using their tools and their sneak minds, and they're really doing it.
Well, it also seemed like they're all extremely competent in their own ways, which is an important part of a heist.
Yeah.
And they're stronger when they work together, also a very important part of a heist.
Yeah.
But the stuff they weren't doing wasn't so outlandish or overly technical, or you could never see it coming.
Yeah.
It was kind of nice when you had reveals that you were like, oh, yeah, if I had thought harder about that, I probably could have seen that.
Yeah.
It just felt a lot more accessible.
I have a follow-up question to that.
Yeah.
What is River Phoenix's job in the team to literally just be a harmless-looking young man to distract people?
And someone who can fit
And
in
I guess
the
he's
vents.
a grease man,
He's
yeah.
a grease.
That's true.
I feel like he's in training a bit because the reason that they came across him in the first place was he changed his grades
They
in the
caught him.
yeah.
Yes.
He was
So
hacking.
I feel like it was like, hey, do you want to be our intern?
I
kind
see.
of thing.
Yeah. And I guess that was visually represented when one of them did a sweet hop over the bank counter, and then he also tried to do it and just ate shit.
Wait, didn't Robbie Rodford eat
Yeah,
shit? And then he gets up.
Oh, that
and,
was Robbie
"Well, I'm
Rodford
too
that
old
did
for
it?
this shit, and he lethal weaponed
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Yes.
It was Robbie Rodford.
Yeah,
So did
River
Phoenix
Phoenix
jump over the
just in
Yeah.
one bound.
Oh, so Robert Redford is like,
tall
oh,
desk,
my
too.
lost youth.
Yeah.
Very tall desk and a single bound.
Which I said this during the movie, but Robert Redford has looked good for old for, I guess, 30 years.
Yes.
Like, I feel like he looks the same now as in 92, which is like, he's old, but he looks good.
Yeah.
And, like, he hasn't changed.
No, he's aged very well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or his money has aged him very
Yes.
well.
I guess money will do that.
He looks a little different today,
I don't know.
but yeah, for a good while there, he was
Ruggedly handsome.
yes.
That's it.
Too handsome for one horse. I'll say
That's
that.
right.
Exactly.
That's the old saying.
As
goes.
the
Yeah.
saying goes.
One horse can't hold him.
Yep.
That's right. All that charm.
Yeah.
It is a lot of charm.
I loved their crew. I liked the dynamic of them where it was like they fucked with each other sometimes, like LOL, we're bros, but not like every 30 seconds like Ocean's 11's crew does, where it's just like, oh, hey, what if I trick you into being an idiot? Ha ha ha, we're so rich and privileged. I feel like that's the Ocean's 11 movies, right?
I was thinking about that too, that there's less tricking other people.
Yes.
There are moments of creating mayhem and confusion, but less just mean, just trickery, annoyingness.
Yeah. Okay. But here's one thing that I did notice about this movie.
Okay.
Is that everyone is a much better detective in this movie than I would be. For example, they let Carl into the bathroom, right?
Yes.
He's like, can I use the bathroom? And they say yes. And he goes in there and the guy's like, he's been in there a long time. I would not even think about it again. I guess that's his job,
Yeah,
but
that's his
like,
job.
I would just be like, yeah, he went to the bathroom. Like, that's hyper detective.
That's security guard.
Yeah. Then there was a moment where, okay, let me think of what they were.
There's when Ben Kingsley.
Yes. Sorry,
Figure-
what did you just say?
Ben Kingsley.
Kingsley?
Kingslayer?
Yeah.
The Kingslayer?
The Kingslayer. Ben, the Kingslayer.
Yeah. Yep, you're going to have to help me out again.
Okay. So we also have our woman, Mary.
Yes.
The key,
yes,
the crucial
yes.
member of the heist team, the woman.
The woman. Mary
Mary
McDowell?
McDonnell.
Donnell.
Yeah.
Mary McDonnell, the president in Battlestar
President Rosalind
Galactica.
herself,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
ultimate badass
Also
in the political sphere.
the
Yeah.
first lady in Independence Day.
Yes.
Right. She is an old flame of Robert Rodford.
Yeah.
And gets roped into it to be the date for Stephen Tobolowsky, who's
Right.
their Mark. Who?
Although I will say, prior to that,
Yes.
she gets roped in because of her smarts.
She's a math nerd.
Yeah.
She's a super math nerd, so
Yep.
she's there to help explain what a other super math nerd is explaining.
Yep.
In P.S., a very nice lecture hall. People from Stanford. Do you have like such carpeted luxe lecture halls?
Yes.
yeah.
I guess they do. I guess the University of Georgia probably had something, but I probably wasn't invited to that.
Like imagine if you're an institution
Okay.
whose like entire brand is that people with too much money go there.
Oh.
And then also imagine that your entire model of existence is to get those people to give you some of that money.
I see. So yeah, you'd have a lot of plush carpeting.
A lot of carpeting.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, anyway, that's where they go to attend this lecture.
Yeah. So she
Right, back to Beth, super detective.
roped into.
She's the on a date with the Mark.
Yeah.
And she goes to the make a phone call, and he accidentally knocks over her purse with like this robot that is voice controlled.
Yep.
Excuse me, robot dog that is voice controlled. And he picks up her purse and sees that her name is not what she told him her name was. And from that, he immediately decides that she is trying to break into his office, which I do not understand the connection.
Because she made him say the word passport in the most convoluted way possible. And the code for every single employee to get into that part of the building is to say, my voice is my passport, verify me. And he probably designed that system because they specifically call out that he's in voice recognition technology.
But he works for the toy division, right?
The whole company is the toy division.
I know,
it's a front.
but it's a front,
Yeah.
right? So I was assuming everything behind that door was like the things that are the back.
I mean, if you have incredible toy dog technology that is going to revolutionize toy dogs, you're going to keep that under lock and key.
Okay.
Does Tobolowsky know he works for organized crime?
Unclear.
Or whatever?
Does he really work for organized crime?
Organized crime is his day job.
Is his day job. So he just helps out organized crime on the side, but he himself is a bad doer.
We should explain that the he we are talking about is River Rodford's friend Cosmo from when they were youngsters who got arrested, and then he was told died in prison.
Yeah.
But he was in fact not died in prison. He was in fact...
He was worked for mob.
He was worked for mob to get out of prison.
And he was Ben Kingsley.
The Kingslayer.
Ben the Kingslayer.
So, So the movie opens on a young Robert Redford and a young Ben Kingsley.
And by a young Robert Redford, we mean a young actor with a very funny Robert Redford wig.
Yes.
Oh my God.
That's
it's the
fair.
best.
Mustache.
That is fair. They are
It's absurd.
absurd. Yeah. But in it, Kingsley does not have an accent. That character does not have an accent.
Right.
He's from maybe upstate New York, if anything. But I don't know. I think Ben Kingsley just felt like a slightly British, slightly New York accent was more menacing.
I think it was more they wanted him to not be British, and Ben Kingsley did that, and they were like, good enough.
Really?
I think he was trying to do...
It was the early
That was
90s.
his American accent.
It was the early 90s.
And it was... He like some of the lines I was like, okay, there it is, that's an American accent, and then it would like go full
Flippy-floppy,
British.
Yeah, it's true. The longer he talked, those monologues got real British and proper, and it was very confusing.
Yeah.
It just seemed like...
It's like make it a British kid in the beginning.
Yeah, I don't get it.
There's no point in them both being American.
Right.
Well, they're fighting for the soul of America, basically, right? So it's 1969, and their whole like overly hyper. This is so stupid. They've got that annoying college talk of like posit, response, conclusion, or whatever, and they're doing a whole thing about like, let's make the world a better place by basically robbing the phone company and giving the money to Greenpeace or whomever, right? Well, in theory, Ben Kingsley's character, who gets caught for doing a sleight of hand, doesn't have to go out and get the pizza, so he stays and gets caught. And Robert Redford's character escapes in a VW van, which is very on the nose. But anyway, so they have that whole cycle, right? And so then later you see these two adult men who have evolved in their life.
Yes.
And Ben Kingsley's character is still clinging to this idea of we're going to change the world. We're going to do something radical. And at one point, Robert Redford's character says, we weren't going to change the world. It was a prank. And that's like a pretty remarkable thing to say. But I was thinking about how all these hippies turned into yuppies, right? And this is like coming right off of the whole me generation, 1980s, everything is about money. And it's curious, right? So is this movie supporting the idea that hippies either gave up on their ideals or never had them? But then at the end, there's the twist ending, or maybe it's a wink ending. Might be a wink.
I think it's a wink.
Where Robert Redford really does just steal all the money from the the Republican National Committee and gives it to like Greenpeace and similar. Do you know what I'm saying, though?
Not really.
No.
I do feel like that was a thing, and I don't remember it exactly. But you know what I'm talking about? Like, what happened to all those hippies? Some of them remained hippies.
Right.
Yeah.
And a lot of them were very big on Bernie Sanders, right?
Yeah.
You've got that, like, path.
Sure.
But then you have a whole big path of people who are like, actually, it's great to make money and to have some
Yes.
stability, and I'm going to go
Sure.
on and be a boomer and suck up all the resources.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you
And
think
it
of
seemed like
commentary
at
on that.
some point, this generation was grappling with it right around this time, right?
I see.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And so this movie in some ways was trying to grapple with something bigger, but then maybe the studio was like, okay, but they're going to sneak, right?
Yeah.
And can Dan Aykroyd ask for a Winnebago? Winnebagos are hilarious. Ask for a burgundy interior. No, let him ad-lib that. You know what I'm saying?
Sort of.
So you don't think it has anything else going on with it?
I think I think it has all the things you're saying going on with it, but I don't
And
know.
I didn't mean to be too specific about Bernie Sanders. I'm just saying that is like you know what I'm saying?
No, now you're losing me again.
Oh.
So what you're saying is, I don't know what you're saying.
Here, let me tell Dan
Yeah.
so he can understand it
Yeah,
from the
you
man's
Dan
voice.
explain
you.
this.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of hippies in 69. Nice.
Yes.
And some of them, a portion of them stick with their mindset all the way through.
Yep.
Peace, love, goodwill towards men and women. All the way through.
Sometimes just men.
Sometimes just men. But some of them stick to the values that they had in their youth. Other ones maybe were never really in it. They just wanted to have sex and do drugs.
My mom has complained about these people for her entire life. Yes, I'm aware.
And they became business people, and they're just fucking boring ass boomers. And then there's maybe like there's a gradation between those. Some of them stuck to it for a while, and then they burned out on caring too much.
I
and
understand all of this. I still understand what it has to do with the movie.
Cosmo, Ben Kingsley,
Yep.
represents the people that stuck to their ideals the whole way through. Because he still wants to change the world, take all the money.
I disagree.
distribute
I
it.
thought that was the whole point of that rooftop scene. He didn't stick to his ideals. He pretends he does, but Robert Redford gets him to admit that it's all about gaining control and gaining more power than Robert Redford's character. He wants to win. He finally wants to win. And he also owns a fucking corporation as a front for organized crime, which is like this hyper-capitalist crony capitalism corrupt system, and he's like involved himself as part of it, claiming that it's all for the greater good, but ultimately he just wants, that's what Robert Redford says to me. He's like, I want you to say it. I want you to say that you win, I lose. And he admits that that's his main motivation.
But we're still saying that this movie is trying to grapple with that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, then I'm right.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. I think we agree on the premise.
I think so.
Yeah. I was just saying I'm right because I was referencing the win or lose thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I just don't think.
Cut this out, Beth. Make me sound cooler and more informed.
I just think that Robert Redford's like, when he said like it was just a prank, like he didn't necessarily mean like the ideals were false. I think he just meant like, you're full of shit. We were just dumb kids fucking around, and you're using this as an excuse to be this asshole.
Well, I wish he had said you're using this as an excuse to be an asshole, because then I would have understood it. But I don't think that's wrong.
No.
Some subtle dynamics happening in this well-made film is what I'm hearing.
So what I wonder is if the first draft was a little less subtle in the dynamics, and the one that actually got filmed was maybe more like, okay, but River Phoenix is going to be in it. You know what I'm saying?
No. You've lost me.
More hijinksy.
Yeah.
More rompy.
So you think this movie was supposed to have more
So
commentary in
play.
it?
And they just alternate between 1969 and the rooftop the entire time.
I see. It just cuts between young Robert Redford and Ben Kingsley, and then cuts back to them on the roof.
3 hours.
And you're never told why they're on this roof together as adults.
Exactly.
That's pretty good. That's a fringe show.
That's a fringe show.
Absolutely.
Sneakers, the one act.
Yeah.
Yep.
Love it.
I do think that there is a weird, they didn't really decide whether it was going to be a comedy or not, because there were funny moments, but in a way that they were like too funny for a movie that was like, we'll just have some funny moments. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, it was a romp from the early 90s.
Yeah.
They still had some of that 80s movie energy where it's like, it can be everything, whatever.
Like there was the whole scene where I almost called him Whiskers. Whistler is driving the car.
Oh yeah,
and I think that like it's like you're gonna hit a slight incline, and like there's just jokes throughout that section, and I'm like, but this is supposed to also be like the most tense part of the movie, high action. I don't know.
I mean, it's called Sneakers, not
Something
Actioners.
for everybody.
That's true. It should have been called Actioners.
Should it have?
Actioners was some comedy.
Yeah, Actioner.
Well, and I thought Robert Redford did a great job, but there are moments of comedy that I was like, oh, this is not his first instinct. You know what I'm saying? There were a couple lines that he landed and were so funny and so good, and a couple I was like, I think someone changed the read on it or the edit on it or something, because it's not like Robert Redford to not land. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I have a theory that anytime he had to do kind of like an eye roll kind of situation, they just had him do like 100 takes.
Incredible eye
And that was like one that was like, is this one okay?
So many good facial expressions.
He had a
from
great
Baby Rodford.
exasperated
that's true.
face move.
Yeah.
The only tonal shift that gave me whiplash was the very end where they got the big sneak. They did the big sneak. They're back in
There's
their
literally
office.
a line where they're like, the biggest sneak we've ever pulled, which
and
tickled me so much they actually called it a sneak.
Yeah.
And then the NSA is there
Yes.
and is like, give us the box or we'll kill your family.
Or whatever.
They don't say that.
No.
But they're menacing.
Yeah.
And it's the NSA and they have machine guns.
Yes, which is interesting.
Yeah. But then that scene plays out with them like, we gotcha, and now here's a comedic set of demands that we have that are like, each one is more LOL than the last.
Yeah.
It's like, clear my record. Okay, legit. And then it's like, I want to Winnebago. I want to go to Europe.
Yeah.
Can I just have the blonde with the Uzi's phone number?
Yes.
Peace on earth, goodwill towards men.
Yes.
LOL.
There were some good jokes in there, though, to its credit.
And that's where we get surprise guest James Earl Jones.
Wow.
Forget about it.
Forget about this. You want a stacked cast?
Yep.
How about a little James Earl Jones in the last 10 minutes?
Yeah. He crushes, as always.
As always.
So good.
So good.
Not a single woman talked to another woman.
He did not.
No.
There was
few
Sidney
named ones.
Many
Poitier's
options.
character had a wife and a child.
At a party.
At a party, both named, never spoke to each other.
Yeah.
Never spoke
The
to Mary
NSA agent
McDonnell.
has the name Mary, but she does not talk to a woman. And they, in the credits, just call her woman with Uzi or something.
Yeah.
Devastating.
Also, she was brunette. Yeah, she had brown hair, I'm pretty sure.
I think it was like Dirty Blonde.
Yeah, I
would
thought
say
it
it
was
was
like
blonde.
blonde.
No, really?
Yeah.
Believe women, specifically Beth, who agrees with me.
Yeah, I thought it was a fun ending, though.
I mean, it definitely felt like they're just like, well, we really need to wrap this up in a somewhat more lighthearted way than just like everything.
And they did set up those demands earlier at the
Right.
big party, so they weren't out of the blue.
Here are my two favorite parts of that whole scene. One, David Straithairn says, "Peace on earth, goodwill towards men," and James Earl Jones says something like, "We're the U.S. government. We're not exactly in the business of that." LOL. Great line.
Yeah.
Second, he exasperately looks at Mary McDonnell's character, and she just goes, "Oh, I'm fine," which is like so badass
Yep.
and very in character with Liz.
Yeah. I wonder if the idea that the NSA has a chip to spy on everybody is not as scary in 92 as it is now. Like
Wasn't it supposed to be presented as like the same thing as like the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark, though, where it's just like, oh, we have our top men looking at this super weapon that could destroy
I
an army.
guess. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm older. Maybe that's the only thing that's changed. But I just feel like I mistrust the government more than
Well, and I
I
don't
did
think
when I was 10 years old.
Sure.
the
I guess, but-
NSA is presented in this movie in a way that I think it probably used to be, which is the geekier, more numbers crunching, help you like run down fraud, figure out what the cartel is spending money on kind of thing.
Oh, really?
And that the FBI and CIA were the ones that are out doing hijinks and undercutting, other governments and that kind of thing. And that by comparison, they just want to be able to crack codes and get information. But this movie seemed very prescient to me about this whole idea of like spying on Americans. And that was like a big moment. But, after the whole Edward Snowden revelation and everything else, you're just like, I guess that's just inevitable.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the movie when Sidney Poitier, again, in one of his super badass moments, notices that the mathematician that they stole the magic box that decodes everything from had died.
Yeah.
Asbury Rodford is supposed to give that magic box to the NSA, which I put in air quotes, and he figures out like they cannot possibly be NSA. Beth made some comment while we were watching it, just like I'm fake, like how she like knew this was going to happen. That it's like, of course they're not the NSA. Whereas I did not. I was like perfectly willing to go along with that plot point because I just accepted that the U.S. government would murder Robert Redford for this incredibly valuable piece of equipment.
I mean, to be fair, in the first half, you said that there would be a twist. And so I mistrusted everyone from the beginning of the movie.
Oh, just like the advice given by Russian guy.
Yeah.
Greg.
It's me.
It's me, Greg.
What's her face again?
Liz?
Mm-hmm. I mistrusted her too. I gotta admit. I thought
So
she
did
was-
Sidney Poitier.
What a
at
twist
one
that
point.
would have been. Oh, that's true. She was like, who else? You were the only one who knew his secrets. Somebody talked.
Yeah.
Except for his supposedly dead ex-partner.
That's right.
Yeah.
Like they would have
Breadcrumbs
put that together.
to the twist.
Whipping way back to
Yes, please.
a point Molly made about the end of our audio sneak-in.
Mm-hmm.
They end up in a great location that Robert Redford thinks is a cocktail party. Molly, do you want
Yes.
to pick up that thread that we derailed
Oh,
from?
yes.
He's in a trunk. He thought they stopped at a cocktail party, and they're like, how would you drive up to a cocktail party?
And you can tell it's one of his better comedic deliveries
Agreed.
of like just like cringing through it, but that's the best way he can describe it. And they follow the breadcrumbs and it leads them right to a flock of geese.
Yeah.
So many
All around
geese.
the reservoir.
Many
geese.
thirsty geese.
Tens of geese.
I mean,
Yeah,
a
maybe
pretty
100,
good flock.
100 goose head.
Full-on
strong.
flock.
Yeah.
And then during the closing credits, we found out that the goose flock was
Yes.
provided by, is it the Schiltz Goose Farm?
That's correct.
Schultz Goose Farm.
I mean,
Amazing.
incredible work.
Like, it opens up a corner of reality that I didn't know I wanted, and now I cannot live
Movie
without.
goose.
Just the idea of like them reading the screenplay and picking up the phone and be like, "Give me Schultz."
And it's a lot of geese.
It's a lot of geese.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's their whole flock.
What if it isn't?
And are these okay? So I have
Flightless
questions.
geese?
Please.
Are these geese in other movies?
Great
Oh,
question.
Like why Schiltz specifically?
Yeah.
Are any of these geese podcast producers?
Maybe
I
now.
did see one of them with wearing headphones,
Maybe they moved on after like
smoking
they-
a cigarette.
You know, I mean, you know how Hollywood is. They age out of the roles. They
Yeah.
got to find new work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted a younger flock.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we should ask our producer.
Before they.
He used to be a movie goose.
Yeah.
Producer stormed out of here earlier.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah, I
shame.
would love to see just like the demo reel for the Goose
Yes.
Farm. Like here's the
Right.
here's the shots from all your favorite movies with geese in them.
They did seem unnaturally crowded on this one bank,
Yeah.
like this
Yeah.
one little river bank, and I was like,
why
I
you
can
get
imagine
Schultz.
that
Dense.
geese are, dense with geese. I can imagine, I guess, geese at a reservoir, but they just seemed awkward.
Yeah.
Like-
also, Snow White geese is not. I'm used to the Canadian
Of course, we all are.
Excuse
as Northerners.
Canada goose.
What?
It's a Canada
That's true.
goose.
Canada goose.
Not called the Canadian goose?
Nope.
All right.
But I don't know what kind of
Just
these
the
white.
thing you need to know.
Why are you so upset about this?
Because people always say Canadian geese. And I got yelled at about it by a nerd one time.
Now
Was it Beetlejuice?
And now I have to.
It all comes out.
Your hair's weird and it's Canada goose.
That's not what Beetlejuice does.
Yeah. Hey, nice stinker.
Hey.
Beetle goose.
Oh, amazing. Yeah, no,
Beetlejuice.
I want to see a demo reel. It's like, oh, here we have a quarter flock. You just need a quick shot of geese. Get yourself a quarter flock. Oh, I don't know why.
We're going to need a fence for that.
I don't know why every business person that we did create in this universe
all
has the
talk like
same
this.
accent.
Vaguely.
Well,
New York,
it's
New Jersey.
more convincing than Ben Kingsley's,
I
and I'm
guess.
sorry.
Wow. How dare you?
It was going pretty far.
He's great other than the accent.
Yes,
Yeah, I
he
agree.
is.
Yeah,
he's so intense.
He's intense, intimidating.
Rocks
It's
that
lots of
ponytail.
monologues. Oh, he's even intimidating over a loudspeaker.
Ooh, that was cool.
Yeah.
I like that scene.
Yeah. I liked, well, okay, Dan, you were correct. It was blue lighting from the computers.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of awesome for like the lighting on their faces throughout the film. I liked it a lot.
Although when they used the decoder machine, sometimes you knew it was decoding because it aggressively changed colors
Yeah.
of the font.
Yeah.
You know, that's how decoding works.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Encryption is green.
Yeah.
Other stuff is not green.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ben Kingsley's office is fully insane, though.
absolutely.
Oh, what is it?
It's
What
like very
is it?
open concept, low light.
Art exhibit.
It's got like
It reminded me of something like you like walk into and it looks like the Science Museum or
Yes.
something.
Right.
yes, it's got like Al Capone silhouettes on the wall.
Right.
So weird.
There's
Which-
like a giant like sound booth in the middle of it so
Hell
they
yeah.
could
Like a server?
That's kind of
I
what
was
it
like,
looks
is
like
it
to
a
me.
temperature controlled
It's
server?
a server room, but it's got all glass
It's also soundproof.
walls.
I really thought it was just like this is where I do my private conversation
I guess it's
Maybe.
both.
on this weird bench in a glass case.
Yeah, and then just like not quite wicker chairs, but like
Those were
thin metal.
ridiculous chairs.
Yeah,
It was like Al Capone married a robot and
Yeah.
had a room.
yeah. I
Dedicated
guess
to
that's what.
themselves.
Yes.
I guess that's what the set design was like. He's a hacker in the mob.
Yeah.
Go for it.
All right.
All right.
It was so weird.
It
I
was
can't even like
Unbelievable as an office space.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I think he had a computer in there, but like, where would you sit? Or
He had, like, a
there's
meeting.
no
Oh,
conference
that was
table.
the thing that was the weirdest about it is like the desk was like in the weird like a corner it wasn't even like a corner of a square room. It was like the room like went to a point and then it's just like in the little corner.
Doesn't want to have his back to the door.
Yeah, probably. But then he just kept that thing like in a briefcase on top of the desk.
Yeah, but he had the best motion detectors money could buy.
That's
right.
true.
You had to turn up to body temperature and then move at 2 inches per second.
See, that's great sneaking.
Great sneaking.
I love the sneaking.
That was one of the
Patient
best
sneaking.
Ribby Rodford LOL eye rolls when he was like, Marty, hurry up. And he was in the process of doing his very slow walk across the office. And he just went,
Yeah.
The one thing I
can't do.
Yeah. That was one of them where I thought, okay, they've been shooting him doing that for like 10 minutes. And him just like slowly walking and like rolling his eyes.
Yeah. I love the idea of most of his time on set, just getting different angles and shots of him doing eye rolls. It's amazing. Like, great, Robbie, we got everything. Now, if we could just do the eye roll one more time. Well, I guess if you need just a couple more scenes of...
gotta give me a arrow sneaking in the
what's my...
Can someone prompt me with a line?
What's my motivation for being so disgusted and dismayed by this
Is it
current
too much?
scenario?
Another peek behind the scenes.
Ooh.
In the credits, there is a Ricky J, sleight of hand consultant.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which I really enjoyed. Is it? No, it's not magic. It's just sleight of hand.
Please.
Please.
That's right. It's
Respect
very
my
narrow.
craft. Yeah.
That was a fun way to
Ricky
reveal
J.
that his old friend was alive. It's just like, oh, he does the dumb hand trick again.
Yeah.
That was fun.
It
It was
fun.
cute. I like that. Do you want to hear a little bit about River Phoenix?
I
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I did end up really falling into a River Phoenix like thing.
Was that around the time where you looked up and said, what is happening? And it was like literally the most important scene in the movie.
I kept telling you River Phoenix was getting hot in the ducts, and
You
you
ignored him.
did nothing.
You ignored him. Dreamboat Rivy was in the ducts, literally turning up the temperature.
That is not what I thought you said that whole time.
What did you guys say?
I thought you were saying he
Go
was
ahead.
getting hot in the nuts.
Yeah!
He was probably.
I mean, he definitely
It was
was.
98
I
degrees.
just kind of was like, nah, whatever.
He definitely was getting hot in the nuts. He's still wearing that gardening jumpsuit.
Yeah.
So I think everybody knows about River Phoenix's sad end. So I'm going to instead focus on some of the overlaps with our podcast in the earlier years.
I'd love to hear this.
Wow.
He was born in 1970, and his younger siblings are Rain, Joaquin, Liberty, and Summer. They were all signed by Penny Marshall.
What?
Oh, wow.
Yes, and Rob Reiner directed Stand By Me.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of an interesting moment
River
there.
Phoenix didn't Stand By Me.
Oh,
Okay.
we didn't watch that, though.
No, we haven't watched it yet.
Okay.
Oh,
But
yes.
that is the movie that catapulted him into my consciousness because
Okay.
I was
So
like
dreamy.
3 years younger than he was. Or no, I was born 4 years after he was. However that works. So I'm 4
Yeah.
years younger than he is.
Yeah.
And so our 9 and 10-year-old selves were completely in love with him. I was 14 or 15 at the
Yeah.
time. And I still remember that feeling and how obsessed all my friends were. And I was too shy to ever put a picture on my wall because my parents would see that I had a crush on somebody.
Yeah.
Sure.
Ugh.
They would cover their walls, and I was so wow, you must be really, really secure in your life that you would put these so many pictures. But in October 1984, Phoenix secured the role of geeky boy scientist Wolfgang Mueller in Joe Dante's big-budget science fiction film Explorers, alongside Ethan Hawke.
Wow.
Yeah, so
he
Joe
worked with
Dante.
Joe Dante.
Hey.
I'm Joe Dante. I do River Phoenix.
Oh, what if River Phoenix went into space with his weird garbage ship? We should watch the movie. That movie is all
haven't seen
Is it good?
ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Hey, can I say one more thing about this movie before
Yeah.
we move on?
Last thing.
The costuming, the costumers didn't get that much to work with
No.
because it was mostly just a bunch of dudes in suits and clothes. Although, honestly, a lot of those clothes really hold up. They're not that different.
Sidney Poitier was in beautifully
Crazy.
crisp suits all the time,
All the time.
including when he smashed a dude in the face with a gun
Yep.
Yeah.
and said, "Motherfuckers mess with me." I slice you. What did he say? Slice your head open or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So cool.
Well, and he had a racist comment had been delivered
Yes.
to
Yeah.
him,
No,
so
that
I
guy
don't blame that anger
earned
was earned.
I mean, pretty much everyone that got hit with a gun except for Robert Redford earned
Yeah,
getting hit
that
by
was fair.
a gun.
That was really fair.
And I mean, literally smacked with a gun. No one really got shot in this movie. They got shot at, except the Russian guy.
Yeah.
And that poor driver.
Yeah.
Russian driver, man.
driver.
Innocent.
Oh, and he did such a good job of acting where he starts to run and he feels helpless and he's not anyway.
I hope that the actor, his family came to see him and everyone was like,
Yeah.
You did it. You looked so
bet.
good running out of
Yeah.
that limousine.
Oh man, one other thing that was totally different about this movie than it would be if it were made today is when it gets serious, Sidney Poitier's character, the former CIA, pulls out his gun, and it's just a regular gun.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's it just looks like an antique now.
Yeah.
It's not like the Matrix where people suiting up with
Right.
15,000 guns and rocket launchers.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is after the line of any government in the world would kill us to get their hands on this. And their response is Sidney Poitier is going to pull out his one revolver.
His pistol.
And that's it. Everyone else just I guess we'll just sleep here.
Lock the doors and turn the lights off. They won't find us.
But the costuming for Liz was very, very good. Very
Chef's
1992.
kiss.
And at one point on her date with that dud,
Stephen Tobolowsky.
Stephen Tobolowsky, who also works at the same company and figures, whatever, who says to her, I can't say it. I'm going to talk about her sweater first.
Okay.
She's the cutest sweater. Giant
So
cowl neck
chunky.
collar, but super chunky. I don't know if the words super chunky and cowl neck and sweater don't evoke for you late 80s, early 90s, I cannot help you.
She could have
This
fit
was
a small
an
car into that
exquisite-
cowl.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
was-
this was put it in the Smithsonian
Yeah.
Yeah.
level
Yes.
of perfect sweater
I
for that
agree.
era. It was really great. I want one.
Oh.
But anyway, she's on the date with this stud, the guy who busts her. What's his name? He's
Werner
Werner
Berger.
my name is my passport. My voice is my passport.
is Werner Berger. My voice is my passport. Make up voice control. Can I take you to breakfast? Would you like me to call you or nudge you?
Yep, there it is. There's the line.
Werner Berger's I'm played by Stephen Tobolowsky, who famously sounds exactly like this.
Well, anyway, there's that line that made me want to hurl.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was gross.
I really, yeah.
Ugh. I felt like it was sad. It was a sad moment because he was so seemed like such an anxious, nervous person.
Yeah.
And you kind of felt for him.
Right.
And then he immediately you're like, oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Creep.
He
Yep,
thought he was
Supreme.
sealing the deal.
He thought he
Yeah.
was sealing the deal.
Yeah.
But in fact, she was sealing the other deal that she was trying to seal. The sneak deal. Thank you.
She's sneaking.
She's sneaking.
And she's so smart. She should have never been put in that position.
She's the smartest member of that crew.
But the part of the movie logic that bothered Beth the most, that I really enjoyed how much it bothered you in a delightful way, was when Ben Kingsley's character, who's like this super genius and really into computers, intercepts Liz, and you think she's caught.
Yep.
But she talks her way out of it, and as she's leaving, she says, "I'm never going to go on a computer date again." He's like, "Halt! There's no way a computer would have put these two together."
In 92?
In 92? Come on. First of all,
Computer's
you have
like, name, beep.
Yeah, but again, in 92, this is a movie, right? Like, in the 92, it's just like, there's no way a hot person would ever go out with that man.
Yep.
I guess. I don't know. I just want to be like, if you only knew the future of online dating.
Well, yeah, that was the thing, too. Is like, I mean, she didn't have an option to swipe left. People are just getting zeros all over the place now.
That bit of logic was maybe a stretch, but
yeah, that was the third everyone's a better detective than me moment.
I mean, maybe Ben Kingsley, like, he already knew Stephen Tobolowsky's profile, and he had set certain, like, preferences for who he was looking for. And just by eyeing Liz, he'd be like, she does not fit the profile.
Yeah, he's like, I was really looking for someone different for him. Someone who liked...
Yeah, maybe that's what it was. He was just like, I know what Werner needs. We work right next to each other. Like, I know what kind of woman is good for him.
Werner designed that sweet robot dog.
Yeah.
And Werner's got...
Probably
just
caught
to
in
go back
that
to
line.
his office.
Please.
Werner's office is like
so normal.
Generic-ass office fluorescent lights.
Yes.
And it's right next to bizarre, like, mafia museum.
Yeah.
Anyway, an office.
Yeah, and were there pictures of the Hindenburg on the wall?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
And was
It
that
was
some kind
arts.
of like Germanic
It was just
reference?
weird arts.
Or
I don't know.
just supposed to be
that
sort
the
of
one?
vaguely Nazi?
They had... There, in the credits, there was a specific painting furnished by someone.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Da Vinci's dick.
Oh, wow.
I'm pretty sure it was not that.
She's Vitruvian penis. Yes.
Something like that. I'm close.
Something like
Sure.
that.
Let's just say that and move on.
You're close.
So close. to
Yeah, Da Vinci's dick pic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that's a
On
fringe
loan from the
show.
Tate.
Yeah. Tape.
What?
Oh, my
Yay.
God.
Oh.
Shut it down.
Before we shut it down and get to our final reviews of the movie we just watched, Sneakers.
Thank you. Did you have to check your notes for that?
You sure
I
did.
saw you look down.
He's like,
This movie is called
We like to engage with our fans.
Fan Engagement.
Fan engagement on Discord, which you can have access to if you sneak your way into patreon.com/totrico.com/sneak.
No.
Nope, just patreon.com/Totes
Added a
Recall.
slash to the fucking Patreon.
And here are the questions and comments. The reference machine asks, how many horses does Robert Redford ride in this movie? I mean, 2 at all times.
Yeah.
It's implied. That is
But
He
At one
hops
point-
off before he gets
at one
in frame.
point, the horses are walking 2 inches at a time.
Oh.
So
It's like
slow.
dressage, but
2 horse,
super
2
slowed
inches.
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
2 horse, 2 inches.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Too furious.
But in reality, a disappointing number of horses. for
Yes,
this movie.
0
Yeah,
horses
well,
on
if
screen.
you consider horsepower of that van,
He never did he ever drive the van?
no. But he doesn't technically drive the horses.
That's true.
I mean, geese are like the horse of the air.
Come on. He doesn't step on 2 geese and fly into the building. That would have been awesome.
Strap a goose to each foot.
That would be amazing. And you know what?
Honk
I
his way in?
forgot to get mad at that nerd
Which
that
nerd?
said that to you, Beth. That
What?
like corrected
Oh, the
you on
Canada Goose?
Canadian versus Canada Goose.
Oh, I don't even know who it was.
Well, be on alert,
All right. High alert.
Molly
High alert.
Chase is mad at you, random person
nerd.
from years ago. I
Who
assume.
cares about that thing? But more importantly, corrected my friend Beth.
Oh, it's okay.
Cool it.
Sometimes I'm wrong.
Oh, well, okay. Call me.
But thank you for...
Who's calling you? The nerd?
Wow. About face.
Yeah.
This is why that computer didn't work.
I just heard that you want to talk to me about geese?
I know all the names of all the gooses. Okay, Eric Ostrom asks, how plausible is this tech stuff compared to the net?
Ooh,
I'd say-
great question.
More?
I think so.
Yeah.
Oh.
But now I remember the net being actually more plausible than I thought it was.
Yeah. the encryption thing, like anytime it shows it being decoded, it's like essentially like, you know, when you send a text message on an iPhone and you can do it where it's like kind of like hidden,
Yeah.
and then you like click on it and then you can see what the text says.
No, I don't have fun.
I don't do
Oh,
that.
sorry.
I know about that, Beth.
That's what it looks like to me.
People.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not. That's not realistic.
That was definitely, yeah. I mean, that part, but that was still like that. The decryption just sort of like repixelating the screen still made more sense than when Sandra Bullock was like destroying the death code and it was like melting graphics on the computer screen or whatever.
That's true.
The most outlandish thing about the graphics was, that changing color and becoming encoded. It didn't feel like there was no laughing skull. No, and it never said virus.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, most of the stuff they used in this movie was just like audio equipment. Right? Like a lot of bugs,
All
a
the
lot
sneaking
of
stuff I found very
microphones
plausible.
and stuff.
Except the decoding, which felt like magic, but that was sort of like
That's the point, right? It was like the
God's eye of
ultimate
this
code.
movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, oh, he cracked the impossible encryption or whatever.
Yeah.
So
more.
Right?
Yeah.
I think
All
so.
right.
Fra asks, is this a movie about athletic shoes? No.
No.
Not as much as I would have hoped.
There is a
River
shoe. There are
Phoenix
some
got
shoe
sneaks.
references.
There are some shoe references.
That's how they know Robert asked River Phoenix about the NSA guy's shoes because they come in and he says they're expensive and then he puts on his jacket.
Yeah.
Shoe reference. And we're pretty sure River Phoenix had sneakers while in the ducks.
In the hot ducks.
Yeah.
Getting his nuts hot.
No.
Hot ducks, cool shoes.
That's right.
The River Phoenix story.
Oh, no.
Trevor impersonator comments and asks, oh, of course, this is what all those sneaker heads online must be going on about.
Of course.
I've always been an old school Vans guy. Do any of you have a favorite sneaker? Well,
Please.
I, as a 35 going on 40-year-old dad, have just transitioned into the slip-on brand of shoe Hey Dudes, which is a
What?
great shoe for where I'm at in my life.
Amazing. They're literally called Hey Dudes.
The brand is Hey Dude, and they just say Hey Dude on them. It's like a canvas shoe without laces.
Great.
Very comfortable, very light.
Yes.
Hasn't fallen apart yet, but it's still pretty new, so not sure about the durability, but
Nice.
digging
Like
it.
new love.
Hey, dude.
Hey, dude, I don't know what new love is. Is that a shoe?
No, I just mean it's new and you're not sure if it'll last, but right now it's so fun and light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're horned up for those shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got hot nuts for cool shoes. As we talked about.
Beth has cool Vans.
Yeah, I do. The slip-on Vans are my go-to. For a while, I had some black leather perforated ones,
Wow.
and now I have the orchid-colored slip-on Vans.
Wow.
I also wear Vans, but mostly because it's easy to get them in my size, and I just wear them until they fall apart, and then I just order more, and it makes my life easy. I have size 15 shoes. Absorb that as you need to.
Yeah.
I wish I were the kind of gal that could pull off some Vans. They just don't look right on my feet. I don't know how to explain it to anyone, but they just don't work for my feet. But
All right.
I respect them, and every time I see someone else wearing some Vans, I'm like, dang, that looks good.
What about Chuck T's?
I went through a whole phase with that, but as a 35 going on a 40 something.
Oh, did an award just drop?
My feet are very sensitive, and I have plantar fasciitis, and I don't know if I ever really got over it, and so I have to have like super arch support. And so the idea of wearing Converse is just laughable to me.
Right. 'Cause
And I
it's
have inserts for stuff.
That's right, because
but-
it's like just walking on a cardboard piece
I
of
mean, it
cardboard.
honestly is, and I walked around on those for years,
Yeah, they're
and I
not
wore
good.
like
No.
basically ballet flats for years. I
I
don't know what
put
was
gel
thinking.
insoles into them as soon as I buy them. I should
Yeah.
make that clear.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I'm also 35.
Shout out to Olukai brand sandals.
I'm listening.
Great arch support in a sandal.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's good to know.
They're also a very responsible shoemaker.
Yeah?
Well, why aren't they sponsoring our award-winning 60-second summary?
Yeah, Dan.
Get on it.
Reach out to your sandals.
I'll fly out. I'll get him on the sandal phone.
Thank you.
Great. Jedvancom asks, if Totes Recall was a sneaker, what part of the shoe would each of you be?
Ooh.
Wow.
Beth is the sole.
Laces. She holds it
Laces.
together.
Ooh.
Which holds it together? There's laces hold it on the foot, not the shoe together. Right?
I mean, every part of the
glue?
shoe holds it together, right?
Stitching?
You're saying Beth is the stitching of the shoe?
Yeah. I guess I'm the sole because I'm getting walked all over.
Oh! I feel like I'm the extra support in the heels.
You're the heel.
Yep.
Oh, cool. It's a wrestling term. That's what he's talking about.
Oh.
Oh, no. I was talking about someone who's like, what is it when you're the heel? It's not a good thing.
Yeah, that's the wrestling term.
Oh.
Jesus.
You're
What,
like,
a heel?
you're like
Someone's like
the-
tricked easily,
you're
right?
like the bad guy.
Yeah.
You're like the Washington team that plays against the Globetrotters.
Yeah.
Or The Rock until they decided he should be a good guy.
Oh.
Oh, I didn't realize that he was a heel.
His whole deal was like, I'm the best and you suck.
I thought it was like, I'm making dinner.
I'm making dinner and the main course is your ass.
Yeah.
I should write for wrestling.
Yeah.
I'm whatever like absurd like design work is on it because it's very loud and distracts from the more important parts.
Sure. Like the pump up part. Of
Yeah, or just like
Reebok
the like
Air
yeah,
Jams.
or like the like really absurd coloring to make it like themed about a certain thing, right? Where it's like, oh, it's I don't know, sometimes I choose shoes that are like, oh, it's the new like based on whatever's popular in pop culture shoe, and it's just like, well, it's just a couple of colors that you decided were associated with.
How dare you? I once won on the radio a pair of Depeche Mode
Okay,
high
I'm listening.
tops, which were in fact regular black Converse high tops with a patch,
Yes.
a DM patch
Yes.
that a child could have ironed on.
Yes.
And I held on to them for years, never wearing them. And then at a certain point in my life, I thought, it's just a patch.
Yeah. Wait, you never wore them?
I don't think so. I think I just gave them away.
To who?
I don't know. No, I think I literally just took them to Goodwill.
Oh.
Somebody's walking around with some cool shoes.
Somebody was like, oh, these are cool Doc Martens.
Try walking in my shoes.
Depeche Mode.
Because DM.
Do you
Yeah,
That's a
thank
Depeche
you.
Mode song. You're welcome. People who didn't get that.
Wow.
Wow.
That's a good pull.
Thank you.
3 a.m. Nope, not
What?
time for that yet.
Matchbox 20.
The Depeche Mode of
I must have shoes on.
down. What?
Matchbox 20. I thought we were singing it.
No.
That's 3 a.m. JB and Miplis asks, viewing sneakers in the year 2022, how boomer do the protagonists feel?
Oh, interesting.
I mean, you kind of touched on this earlier with the whole hippie betrayal.
Wow,
thing.
it's 30 years old. 30 years
yeah,
old. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
92
Yes.
to today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
30
Yeah.
years old.
Almost
Wow.
exactly.
The
'cause it
30
came
year
in September.
anniversary of sneakers.
Yeah.
Not as boomer as you'd think, I
Yeah.
guess.
But kind of totally boomer.
Yeah, like their concerns are boomer for sure.
Getting their criminal record expunged.
Yeah, and,
It's very
and
boomer.
like
Going to Europe
thing-
with their wives.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Getting things encrypted. They want it. They
And a
want
Winnebago.
Winnebago.
They don't want to be responsible for taxes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Teens.
Yeah.
They're yelling about teens all the time.
Are they?
Mhm.
Yep. Complaining about millennials and how they never want to work.
Avocado toast.
Yeah, and if they just save some money, then
This
They
is-
just stop buying
this
coffee
is in
every
the
morning.
movie Sneakers.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's all in there.
there was like
Oh.
a whole part where they were like, ugh.
Stop, quiet, quitting.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a whole part where they're just like comparing their 401ks
Oh, right.
and
Yeah.
like
And
talking
Sidney-
about the most ideal time to retire to their beach home.
Yeah, I forgot about the part where Sidney Poitier is like, motherfuckers don't want to work anymore.
He smashes some teens in the face.
But really, the real answer is that they are everything the boomers pretend that they were, in that they like actually walk the walk at the end and steal money from the Republicans and give it away to more useful organizations. But at the same time, maybe they need to expand their knowledge of mutual aid programs and not just give it to the big boys.
Yeah.
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 There's some there's some very boomer nonprofits selected.
Indeed.
Except for the NAACP. I would say that's not.
They didn't give it to the television.
What they give? They give to
They gave it
something.
to
Negro
some kind of
college fund.
which is cool. Good for them.
Okay.
But also, if any of you are sneakers out there and you are of any generation, please feel free to steal all the money from the RNC.
Yeah, and
Like-
give it to
Oh God, that'd be so
our
cool.
podcast.
Ooh, and yeah, give it to our podcast. That's great.
Untraceable. We will crypt it.
Yes.
We'll encrypt our money.
We will use it for good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this podcast.
This podcast.
Just cryptify it and send it our way.
Yeah.
But not crypto.
No.
We do not want crypto.
No.
We want-
no.
Hard
One
cash.
hards and cash, but virtual.
Virtual hard cash.
Yeah.
Untraceable.
Send us an
Oh, yeah, we
untraceable
want it
hard drive
untraceable.
full of
American.
cash.
You know
Yeah.
what?
I
I'm a
guess
patron.
That's true. That is
Tell
true.
Patreon,
You want it through a third
hook up
party.
your answering machine
Right.
with a special box inside that sends money, and just send money that way, and then we'll redistribute it.
Yeah.
You know what? Okay, tell you what. Just send it to Mackenzie
Scott.
No.
Scott.
She's not giving us any money.
No, she has
She's
plenty
too
of
busy
money.
out there giving it to Planned Parenthood of Minnesota and the Dakotas and other causes, worthy causes, but that are not us. But they're near us. That's the most insulting part.
That's true. That's
that she
rough.
comes
She's
to
so
Minnesota
close. She's so
and
close.
gives money to not us.
What,
We
to Habitat for
will
Humanity?
Shit all over your dumb ex-husband
Yes.
constantly.
It's not even that much money. It's just $1 million a month.
That's nothing for you.
Yes.
You won't even miss it.
You won't,
No.
Mackenzie.
Come on.
I don't understand how this isn't persuasive.
You want me to talk about his weird head? I'll talk about his weird head.
Yeah.
You want me to
Got
talk
a weird ass head.
You want me to talk about his shitty, ridiculous
Business
space
practices?
program
Oh,
and
the
how
space
he
program.
acts like that's the only possible thing he could do with his money?
Yeah.
What
I'll
about
talk
that dumb cowboy hat that he wore?
Oh,
He looks like a friggin' dummy.
so stupid.
I just read an article from William Shatner about how he hated going up in space. So suck on that, Bezos.
Yeah, he hated it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Captain Kirk.
Motherfucker.
And I would have thought he'd be all about it because I think he's a wacko now, but I was like moved by it, his sadness.
Apparently, it takes so much money and so much resources to keep people alive in space.
Breaking news.
Yeah. And that could be going to podcasts.
Yes.
Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Local reference. Mackenzie, give us some money.
Yeah, we're staying alive
Yeah.
through money.
If you want this podcast to survive under capitalism, you need to give us $1 million a month.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, at least.
At least $1 million a month.
Yeah.
It requires a lot of money.
Can you
For us to record
imagine
this.
Mackenzie Scott just showing up in Discord?
Oh my
I'd
God.
love it. I'd
I would
love it
lose
so
my
much.
mind.
I'd send her a wave, that automated, semi-automated wave emoji.
Sure.
I'll send two.
Yeah.
She can ask Q's and C's then.
Absolutely. She can ask Q's and C's.
Oh, all your Q's and C's can be about how dumb Bezos is.
Please.
Yeah.
Oh
Or
my
not, if you want to talk about something else.
Yeah,
just
you might
want-
be tired of it.
We're
You know
taking
what?
the reins on this one. You just sit back
Yeah.
and listen
You
to
sit
us
back, enjoy the
shit
movie.
on how dumb he looks.
Yeah. And how just stupid he sounds when he talks.
Yeah.
Not like us.
No.
No, we sound great.
We sound great, and
we
we don't
could sound
kill
better.
people to ship like
Yeah, garbage.
garbage to people.
In boxes that are way too big.
Come on.
Have you seen these boxes? I order one friggin' pack of ketchup and it comes in a box you can keep a
like
raccoon
one of those
in.
one of those little packets?
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
one?
Just one, yeah.
Are we doing stand up?
Why are you ordering just one online?
You
Have you seen
Put
this?
it on a fake hot dog.
Just go to your local fast food joint and take a packet.
Nah, I'm not going inside. It's a pandemic on.
Have you seen this? Do you know about
Anyway,
this?
what were we talking about?
Sneakers.
Sneakers, the movie.
Okay, now that we've done that part, we
Yeah.
can do the part with our ratings.
Wow.
These.
Is it Chase Midnight?
It is.
Yeah.
Ooh, no, it's almost real
It's all
midnight.
at midnight.
Past.
Goddamn.
Yeah.
It's almost real person midnight.
Our rating scale, as we all remember,
Of course.
is Gotcha Sneakers Kyushu edition.
And Kyushu refers to the character Q from the James Bond franchise.
Yes.
All right. So does this have like a little patch on it that says Kyushu?
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
But it's also like basically like the Swiss Army knife of spy craft in a shoe.
Does it have one of those road sound recreation machines?
Yes.
Nice.
Yep.
And then for Synergy, it was released originally on the island of Kyushu in Japan.
That's right.
Right. I forgot about
Right.
that.
Yes.
Cool.
Limited edition.
Yes.
So that's it. Dan,
Yeah.
you wagered 4 pairs of shoes.
I
You didn't remember much, but you were excited for rubber.
I was excited. I heard this cast was stacked. It did not disappoint on that front. Cast was stacked. It is not the movie that I was thinking of. That is another movie, title of which I will find out and mention on the Discord.
Okay.
Pretty sure Emilio Estevez is in it. Pretty sure there was more than one. Beth, do not look it up right now. I have
Hot Shots?
no.
That's
I will
Charlie
find
Sheen.
out for myself. Beth, let me go on my own journey. I need this. I'm not looking. She's showing me her phone, and I'm not looking.
It's just a photo of Emilio Estevez.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Yeah, you can't look away, can you?
No, those eyes. My God. Anyway, I thought this movie ruled. I thought it was super cool and not. I don't know. It was a cool movie from '92. Stack cast. Sidney Poitier is a badass. Everything's great. 5 shoes.
Wow.
Whoa.
5 shoes.
I thought it was a Cracker Jack script. Sidney Poitier's motherfuckers mess with me. I'll splice your head open line. Just really put me over the top because that was so
You did
unexpected
some high
and
kicks from your
the
seat.
best.
Yeah.
I did do some high kicks from my seat.
That was incredible.
5 shoes, a real cutie
shoe.
I don't know. I
You're
lost
gonna
it.
quit.
We had it. I'm going to quit the podcast because I failed and I'm ashamed of myself.
Wow.
Anyway, 5 shoes. I loved it.
Loved it.
Rock and roll.
Beth K. Gibbs, you gave it 4. You knew nothing about it, but it sounded good.
Yeah. I thought it was pretty good. I was entertained by it. There were some things that I wasn't a fan of, like people being better detectives than me. and yeah, I felt like there was some tone shifts that I didn't love too much. So I'm going to stick with 4. I thought it was pretty good.
Great. I gave it 5. Think it would be cool and that I was cool for liking it. Those are all still true. It was too long, though. About 2/3 of the way through, I just kept thinking, this is a really long movie, huh? They didn't need to sneak this much. So I'm going to go down to 4.5.
Wow. Lost one of your Q shoes.
How just for the length of the film.
Yeah.
You got to remember, this is a guy who's just
Oh, no, I
swimming in
know.
Hey Dudes right now.
I got to get to bed. I don't have time to tie shoes.
I got to watch more sneaking when I could just be lying down.
Molly, you gave it 4.5, or 4, you gave it 4, and then 1 gold dipped commemorative
Right.
shoe.
Sure.
The most limited edition.
You only remembered one scene, and it was the Russian being shot. Correct?
Well, no, I remember
no.
that one as it went.
Oh, okay.
No, the scene I remembered was the one where the Whistler says, I can tell you exactly where the box is because you're not listening. And they weren't.
Oh, I
That's
just
what it
remembered from earlier that I remembered having seen Whistler drive the van before, and I also vaguely remembered them pissing off James Earl Jones. So I think what that means is that I have seen the end of this movie probably on TV.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Seems like a movie that would be on TV.
Yeah, it sure does.
I apologize, Molly. Please continue.
And I think as I was watching it, I remember that I did watch it once again at some point in the 30 years since it was released because I found myself weirdly bored by part of it because I started to remember more and more of the movie and I knew it was going to happen. So that was kind of a bummer. But then I just read a lot about River Phoenix. So in the end, I'm going to say 4.5.
Wow.
Great.
Sticking with it.
Yep. Sticking with it. But I really had a great time. You know what? 5 because of that sweater.
Wow.
Yeah,
That sweater was so
incredible
good.
Sweater.
Yeah. Well, Sidney Poitier was better than the sweater, obviously.
But like
It's
when you add
really
the sweater,
phenomenal. But the sweater is just like the one little thing that just tips it above 4.5 into the 5 territory.
like imagine if a sweater were like a Guggenheim designed building.
Yep.
And it was, made of like really thick cable knit.
Yep.
Incredible sweater.
It was structurally exquisite.
And McDonnell carried that thing.
Oh, she did.
Like she was born in it.
Yeah.
It's probably
made it
real
look like
heavy,
nothing.
right?
Probably.
I mean, it's pretty chunky knit.
It was very chunky.
Listen,
knit.
It was an
Robert-
expensive sweater.
Robert Redford had to roll his eyes 1,000 times. Mary
Yeah.
McDonnell probably had to practice how to walk in that sweater without falling over.
Yeah,
And they all crushed it.
they
They
did.
all crushed. Even, I know I gave Dan Aykroyd
Oh,
a
wow.
hard time, but being overly comedic and Scooby-Doo-ish.
Uh-huh.
I don't take that back, but I think it was a spice that he added. That is
Yeah.
distinctly him, so it's fine.
Yeah. Or should I say, true.
True. True.
It's true.
Yeah.
Correct.
Like, the fact that one of the tensest moments in this movie is when a scribble on a piece of paper gets larger. That is what I loved about this movie.
That's true.
Amazing.
Well, it was adapted from a one-act play.
Oh, of course. I forgot.
Filled in a lot. Of
Yeah,
gaps.
like they're just like, why are they on the roof? And the playwright's like, I don't know, who cares? And then they were like, get out, we're hiring another screenwriter.
Yeah. Give me Branford.
Give me Branford, give me some hot jazz, smooth.
And some cool Sidney Poitier.
Yeah. Ooh, so cool.
So
God, he's
cool. God.
Yeah.
Just like you think you'd want to have dinner, but you just feel extra dumb.
I feel like he's a
He'd be so
sweetie.
gracious.
You think he's a sweetie?
Yeah.
He'd be so gracious you'd feel all right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Tweeters, if you ever had dinner with Sidney Poitier, please tell us if he was a sweetie or not.
Yeah.
And did you feel like awkward or
Yeah, or did he make you feel like you were worthy of dinner with such a...
There's
Yeah.
like a whole movie about this.
Yeah.
What?
Guess who's coming to dinner?
Who is it?
It's
Sidney,
him.
It's Sidney Poitier.
What?
He's the one coming to dinner.
Oh, no. They must all feel so awkward about it.
They do.
Unfortunately,
Everybody feels like that.
unfortunately, they do.
Ooh.
Another San Francisco film.
Is it?
Yep.
Great.
He crushes in that.
Yeah.
Should we watch that?
Get off my back, Jack.
wow.
Is it too much of a bummer to watch for this show?
It's kind of a
It's a little
bummer.
bit of a bummer.
Yeah.
It's really good though. It's
Is it an affy?
Yes.
It's I think it got kicked off.
It was an affy.
Yes.
It was, yeah, if you haven't seen it yet, then I think it was on the original list.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not that far into the list.
I think it's on the
It's
on the first list, but not the second.
Yeah.
You're telling me they kicked off the Ku Klux Klan movie and the It's Weird That a Black Guy's Coming to Dinner movie?
Yeah.
Yes.
They kept hot train races.
Hell yeah, they did.
In the heat of the night.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, Rules. There's another scene in that.
Well, I liked
have to
Guess
talk
Who's
about
Coming
this.
to Dinner better.
Oh.
His performance was more compelling than that.
Does he
I
slap a
am
white dude
HO.
in that one?
Nobody yells at his dad.
Okay. Is the podcast still going?
I think
Yeah,
so.
I mean,
My headphones just freaked out, so I'm having a hard time.
Oh, no.
Oh, did I ever put mine on?
Nope.
nope. All right, we got to start over.
12:06. 12:06.
We did it.
We did it.
Good night.
Bye.
Thank you. It's 3 a.m.
It's 3 a.m. Sidney Poitier. Wow. I don't even know what that is.
It's Rob Thomas, Matchbox 20, 3 a.m.
Sure it is. All right, podcast over.
Totes Recall is hosted by Molly Chase, Beth Gibbs, Dan Jaquette, and Dan Linden. Produced by Beth Gibbs. New episodes of Totes Recall drop on the 15th of every month. For more information and bonus content, visit us at totesrecall.com. Thank you so much for listening.